With questionable judgment, he put art above profit and turned down a lead role in several popcorn classics. He passed on Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, Rain Man and Platoon, and by doing so he handed Cruise and his other Brat Pack stablemates blockbuster careers. While they were counting the cash, he was struggling to make his mortgage payments. So around this time, your life, although it appears to be at an all-time high, is quite quickly unravelling.
Disintegrating, yeah.
And the central reason is that the anger's come back, the resentment, and your complete refusal to compromise to Hollywood politics. You just will not.
You know, it wasn't so much the politics, it was anything that was an authoritarian type figure. You know, if someone looked at me sideways, I would go berserk.
In 1986, Mickey Rourke hit the UK to make his first big flop, controversial IRA movie, Prayer for the Dying. And when things didn't go his way, he publicly slated the film and its producer, Sam Goldwyn Jr. That, coupled with his outspoken views on the Northern Irish Troubles, created a tabloid scandal that tainted his reputation forever.
Prayer for the Dying was a strange thing for him to do. We were kind of surprised that he took it. There's this kind of Irish connection that he has. His politics were a bit wishy-washy. He wasn't really that aware of the situation. So I think he annoyed a lot of people in Ireland because he took positions which he probably hadn't really studied.
I mean, were you being deliberately provocative, do you think?
I don't want to get into it.
Give me the headline.
Just political stuff. It's really a subject that I don't talk about anymore. I learned my lesson.
Was it about the IRA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You were being sympathetic to the IRA?
I don't know. I was being sympathetic toward my character, and it got blown out of proportion. And I wasn't educated enough in any way to handle the consequences of what was, you know, something very volatile at the time.
In what way?
Well, getting banned from the UK, and I didn't realize that if the UK didn't buy your film, you know, wouldn't take your films, that you could hardly work.
I mean, you even took on publicly Samuel Goldwyn,
yeah,
which is sort of sacrilege in Hollywood. I mean, when you did that, did you realize what you were really doing?
Yeah.
Do you regret that?
Not so much taking on him. I don't really give a fuck about him. It was other things that happened that I allowed to happen that caused me difficulty. There were consequences.
I mean, Mickey, everyone loved him. He was the bad boy, he was outspoken, but then he picked a fight with Hollywood royalty in the form of Sam Goldwyn Jr., and that was it. He was out. You can't do that.
There is an unwritten rule in film that you're all in it together. It's pretty hard to make a film, even a bad one. And actors are the ones who end up on the chat shows and doing the interviews. So they're in a very cocky position. And actually what they're doing is slugging off the work of 100 people.
If you've made someone a star, if you've made someone rich and famous and comfortable, if you've given them a career and they turn around 5 minutes later and start abusing you, they don't like it. Why would you?
The general rule is if you don't like the movie, then you just shut up. And unfortunately, Mickey didn't.
The press had smelt blood and were now baying for more. So the industry, who had clearly also had enough of the bad boy protege, removed any protection they'd afforded him and let him have it. Open season was declared on Mickey Rourke's reputation.
If he'd have been difficult and was making hit movies, he'd still be a star these days. But because his movies weren't hits, and he was becoming increasingly difficult, he was dropped.
As the 80s croaked, so did Mickey's career. The top scripts in Hollywood were no longer landing on his lap. His Tinseltown home was repossessed, and he was in no position to be choosy about the work he could get.
If you look at the work that then followed, he got more and more difficult, and the work was not so great either.
Some of the roles that he was in, they're almost unwatchable. I mean, I sat there groaning sometimes.
In 1990, he makes Wild Orchid. With his first marriage over, Mickey makes ex-model co-star Carrie Otis his second wife. An occasion of a tabloid celebration? Not with Mickey in the picture. Their tempestuous relationship would drag Rourke's name even further into the mud.
There was drugs and guns going off and fights. They were always doing something scandalous, and every week they were tabloid fodder.
You did, through this period, get married to Carrie,
Yeah.
who was possibly the love of your life.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way?
Yeah.
What happened there?
I met somebody who was as damaged as me, and all hell broke loose. And she was wild and crazy, and
Two damaged,
yeah,
fiery people colliding.
yeah.
Did it ever stand a chance, really, do you think?
Not at that time. Now I look back at it, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now today if she probably didn't leave. It forced me to change, because I didn't feel I had to change or needed to change.
I think Mickey Rourke's lowest point was probably, when he was with Carrie. He kind of had a bit of a personal breakdown, ended up being carted off to sort of an institution for a while, came out and allegedly beat up Carrie, and she went to the police. And she never did press charges, but he was tarred with that brush of a wife beater. And that was kind of where it all went totally wrong for him.
There were stories of assault and abuse and all the rest of it that you were whacking her around. Is that fair?
No.
It didn't happen?
No.
How would you describe your relationship?
She got fucked up on heroin. The only destruction that I did was on a couple of guys that she was getting high with. The bad choice that I made is I just walked into a public place and did my business with them.
And what would your business be?
I just put the guy in a hospital for a few days, and that got in the papers and stuff like that. As far as any violence that happened with her, she can't even remember it because she was so whacked out. So.
Do you remember it?
No, I don't remember it because I wasn't involved in it, because these were people that were supplying her with stuff, and they ended up doing the business, and I took the fall.
I mean, very hurtful to you to even now have to be asked about that kind of.
Not really, because it's never been resolved. She can't remember it. She was in such a funk. I think she knows because she told me the name of the people that did it.
And do you still see her?
No. I have nothing against her. I still care about her, and, if she needed my help, I'd be there for her, but I think she's doing fine.
Have you been in love since?
In love? No.
Do you think you will?
I don't know. She was a hell of a woman and a lot to match up to, so something had to fall out of the fucking sky.
Do you think you'll ever be able to move on, probably?
From her? Probably not.
That's tough.
I'm tough.
So you're banned from Britain.
Yeah.
You've fallen out with the Hollywood hierarchy. You're now tainted as trouble. And
I think so.
yeah. And in typical Mickey Rourke fashion, your reaction is spectacular. You just say, what?
I just got on my motorcycle and kept riding.
But you retreated back to where you'd started,
Yeah.
boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, a startling thing to do.
Yeah, I had realized at 34, I had some demons about when I got hurt as an amateur, and I never turned pro, and I went, you know what, I'm going to take...
It was unfinished business.
Yeah, it was unfinished business that I felt bad about.
And what was the reaction to your decision?
Well, I was only going to do it for a year. I didn't realize it was going to go on for 5 years.
You must have had everyone trying to persuade you to
Oh,
stop.
yeah. Well, everyone had left by that time.
There's no one left to persuade you.
Everybody abandoned ship. It was just me.
Stories started filtering through that, Mickey Rourke was this boxer, which I just thought, why? He was a megastar. He was massive in Hollywood. Why has he done this?
A lot of actors go off the rails and don't become professional boxers.
I think he thought that being an actor was a bit of a wimpy thing to do, and he wanted to sort of get real and be gritty and show everyone that he was a tough guy. But it was quite sad because it just backfired because he wasn't very good at it.
He was somebody who didn't need to be bashed around the head.
Mickey Rourke boxed professionally from 1991 until 1994.
I watched Mickey's last two fights, and I just wanted to die for him. I think at the time he was like 40, and he was boxing. And I watched him get his ass kicked and wonder, why is he doing this? And then I realized that Mickey is the kind of guy who comes from nothing. So everything is an accomplishment. I think he could have saved a lot of wear and tear on the old face as he got pummeled. But look, how many guys have done that? And he's done it.
Did it give you a bigger rush than you've been getting from movies?
Yeah.
See, that's the reality, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I've always enjoyed sports much more than making movies.
So while everybody else thought you'd gone mad, abandoning your Hollywood career for getting back in the ring,
No, I
for
wanted
you,
to-
it seemed an obvious thing to do.
Well, it was like I wanted to do it one more time before I became like a fucking geriatric. You know, I wanted to compete one more time at a high level. And went as far as I could up until I started getting some memory loss. And I failed my neurological twice. And they said, you should stop right now. And I had just gotten offered they said if you win 3 more fights, you could move up to cruiserweight and fight for a WBO title fight. So, I mean, that's all I thought about. And then I told the doctor, and he said, how much are they going to pay you? And I said, well, I mentioned the figure. He says, you won't even be able to count that if you have 3 more fights.
Really?
Yeah.
Would winning a WBO title have meant more to you than winning an Oscar?
Yes.
You see, in that answer, I get what it's all about.
Yeah.
I don't think you were mad. It was your passion.
Yeah.
You just happened to be a guy who loved his boxing, who happened to be very good at acting.
Yeah.
When you try to come back to movies,
Yeah.
I mean, the game had moved on for you.
It was gone, yeah.
I mean, apart from anything else, your face had been pretty badly mangled.
Well, you know, I had 5 nose operations. It broke my cheekbone. I had 2 concussions, broke my hand. My hands will never be the same, probably.
But what it did, the boxing years, it took a famously handsome face
Right.
and turned you into a bit of a train wreck.
Right.
I remember sort of this picture landing on the showbiz desk, and we were like, has he gone mad? Why? He was gorgeous.
He already had the most brilliant, wonderful, characterful face. What on earth would anybody want to do that? It's a complete and utter mystery to me.
The late 90s saw the rise of the weekly gossip magazine that signalled a new age of intrusion and celebrity bashing. A regular page filler born out of this was the When Plastic Surgery Goes Wrong feature, and their poster boy, well, it was Mickey Rourke.
The plastic surgery, it's a way out of it. It's embarrassing almost. It's embarrassing. It's so bad. If you're going to do it, do a good job.
The press thought the surgery looked more than just reconstructive.
It struck me that he was trying to change himself, wasn't he? Become something new, you know, like a butterfly, but failed.
I saw him at something in London not long after he'd had it done, the first bout, and it was sort of truly terrifying, you know, frighten the children.
I've noticed since I've worked in Hollywood that there is this ludicrous obsession with how you look, with all things aesthetic.
Right.
Do you care that you get regularly dissected now as plastic surgery feature? Here's Mickey Rourke. And
No, I mean, if I had, you know, stuff blown out of proportion about operations I've had on injuries, I don't read it. I don't give a fuck what somebody has to say. That town built on envy, so they're going to say what they want to say and believe what they want to believe. And
But when you try to get movie parts again, presumably then it mattered.
I think my reputation at the time was so devastatingly bad that my movie career was pretty much over before I left to go back to boxing.
When you finished the boxing, I've read some quite a harrowing account from you of your life, the sort of life in the wilderness for 10 years, where you had no money,
Right.
you had no real friends to count, you didn't have much to get up for other than your dogs. And probably the most sort of sad moment for me when I read your story was how you would try and get tables in restaurants and
Yeah, the ones where you couldn't pay, before you couldn't pay for a drink.
Yeah.
And I remember going off on some guy one time when I couldn't get a table in a place. And I said, what's the matter? I don't have a fucking movie out this week, you know? Where I would say it's worse to to be a has-been than to like never have been anything before. Because when somebody goes like, what happened to you? You know, like people actually say, I'd be standing in a 7-Eleven buying a pack of cigarettes, and the guy would say, hey, didn't you used to be in the movies? There's like 6 people in line. I'm going, yeah, a long time ago. And then somebody, oh, you're Mickey Rourke. And I go, Jesus Christ, I think. And, you know, it was like, you know, going through that kind of thing.
Did all this behaviour, the restaurants not giving you tables, all that kind of thing?
Well, it was only one. It was only one time.
But did it confirm to you what an insincere, shallow place Hollywood is, really?
Not really, because by that time I was talking to a guy who was kind of helping me put the pieces back together.
This is the therapist you saw?
Yeah, and I realized that it wasn't any producers or anybody in Hollywood. I'm the one that brought the curtain down on myself. You know, I jumped off the mountain head first.
I mean, it was one of the great self-implosions in Hollywood history. Listening to you, it seems obvious to me that very destructive childhood almost certainly cost you your career,
right?
Your marriage,
yeah,
your fortune. I mean, every good thing that came your way, in the end, got chewed up by the damage that was there.
I don't like to use it as a crutch. What I'm using as a crutch is the damage that came out of it damaged me in a way that I couldn't function without self-destructing and ruining what I was trying to achieve. And the hardest thing for me is, it's like when my ex-wife said to me, you know, you have to change, you know? And then I realized, man, I gotta change, or I might as well just blow my fucking brains out.
Did you ever think of blowing your brains out?
Sure.
You actually had moments when you thought, I'm going to kill myself?
Well, let's just say, you know, it crosses your mind.
How would you have done it?
I have no idea. But you see, because my kid brother was sick with cancer his whole life, trying to live, there was a big part of me, I wouldn't do it because mainly because of him. You know, because he would fight so much to beat his illness and want to be alive, and I'm going to sit there and blow my fucking brains out. No, I wouldn't. There's no fucking way I'd do it. Mainly because of him.
Was Joey the one person you were closest to in your life?
Yeah.
And was his death the most difficult thing you've ever had to deal with?
Yeah. Yeah. When it's your brother and he's dying, you know, he's in your arms and you see the light go out. You know, that was. You know, people could say, oh, death is a beautiful thing. It's a lonely, ugly, terrifying, horrible thing. There's no beauty about it at all.
Do you think he'd have been proud of the way that you've pulled yourself back together?
Well, you know, Joe died about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, and I remember him saying, hey, bro, he said, you changed, man. I never thought you did. And I'm sitting there looking at him, and he's dying, and he's very happy to see the change.
By the turn of the century, it looked increasingly unlikely that filmmakers were ever going to consider the Hollywood has-been for anything again. But movies had changed, and the people making them had changed too.
Filmmakers like Mr. Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino grew up admiring Mickey Rourke. Those people are not dancing to somebody else's tune, and neither is Mickey. So they can make music together, for sure.
In 2005, hot movie director Robert Rodriguez transferred the graphic novel Sin City to the big screen and cast Mickey, serial-killing anti-hero Marv. The film was a success and introduced a whole new generation to Rourke's, albeit prosthetically challenged, on-screen talent.
Sin City was certainly his best role in years, in a very, very long time.
I was so pleased because thank God he had a good role for a change.
I was fascinated by him in Sin City, to see how strange he looked. Pretty special, I think, in a weird way.
But did it feel good to be back?
You know, people say that to me, and it's like when you've been out of work 13 years, you don't ever feel like you're back.
What does it feel like?
I don't know. I think in the beginning, when you're really young and you first start out and you hit and things are going smooth, you know, you're there and it's never going to go away. And then when it goes away, you know, maybe it goes away for 6 months or a year, but after, you know, a decade, you know, you start to go, maybe they're right, maybe I am through.
Do you feel fortunate to be back making movies at all?
After what I did to everybody, yeah.
And can you enjoy it more this time?
I do, yeah, I really do.
You feel less anger, less resentment?
Oh, I don't feel any at all.
Now you're actually enjoying making
Well,
films?
because I realized I was the monster,
Not everybody else.
not these people I was screaming at in the dark to come out and fucking get it on.
With plans in place for a Sin City 2, Mickey's Marv may well be back, and his latest role in The Wrestler is tipped to be the best work of his career.
He closed off his future with his plastic surgery because he became funny looking. And then his plastic surgery relaxed and he looks like Mickey Rourke again. So I think his future is wide open, and I think he's gonna blow all of our minds.
He's probably got the redemptive role in him, like Brando when he did The Godfather.
He's on his way back, and you know why he's on his way back? Because he was always great. And he looks kind of strange, but it doesn't matter. In a weird way, it doesn't matter, because inside is a phenomenal actor, and he always was. And I think that if he's doing well right now, that's the reason. He's just a really, really good actor.
I mean, would you like to have a movie big enough now to stop the endless procession of people coming up to you and talking about 9.5 weeks?
You know what? The 9.5 week thing doesn't really. It's almost. It doesn't anger me, or it's almost embarrassing. Because it's like I don't get it, you know.
I mean, do you feel a huge pressure when you're with a woman now to produce fruit and stuff?
No.
Do they try and exert that pressure, you know?
No, not
for
at
old
all.
time's sake?
No, not at all. No. No, the women I'm with these days don't even remember that movie.
Mickey, I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you. It's great to be back for another drink. Cup of coffee.
Very nice boy.